Adolphus Hitler was one of the most murderous men in human history who caused unimaginable suffering on a level never seen before. One of the most interesting questions about Hitler that psychologists and historians have been trying to answer for decades is how this cute little baby boy turned into this crazy one-bald warlord that most people know today. Adolf Hitler was born to Alois Schicklgruber, who later changed his name to Alois Hitler, which was probably best for the Nazi brand because Hail Schicklgruber doesn't really have the same ring to it. His mother, who was also his great-aunt, Clara Hitler, loved baby Adolf with all her heart, and he loved her back. He had a few siblings, but only two that survived infancy, Edmund and Paula. Adolf was a very outspoken kid, and he was fairly popular among his peers at school. But even at a young age, Adolf couldn't keep himself out of trouble, and he was repeatedly beaten by his father for various different instances of him misbehaving. This caused a deep resentment for his father in young Adolf. Adolf's father was an Austrian official who was, for obvious reasons, pro-Austrian, and so, in the early 1900s version of being a rebellious teen, Hitler became very pro-German despite his father. Around this time, Adolf's brother Edmund died, and this tragic event shaped the man that Hitler would become. The confident, outspoken Hitler that people once knew was gone, and a shy, quiet boy replaced him. He was bullied by the kids at his school, and subsequently his grades started to drop. During this time, he started to get into drawing and art as a whole. And if you've seen some of the memes, then I think you know where this is going. When Hitler's father died, most accounts say that he didn't really care. His mother dropped him out of school to pursue the arts, and Hitler thrived during this time. He was later re-enrolled in school and barely passed high school, and remained unemployed for 3 years before moving to Vienna to become an artist. If you know anything about Hitler, or you've just been on the internet long enough, then you'll know that he was denied entry to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna. This crushed him. He was then forced to go back home to help his dying mother who had just been diagnosed with breast cancer. Their Jewish family doctor did everything he could to save Hitler's mother, but it was not enough, and she passed away on December 21st, 1907. The doctor said that he had never seen anyone so stricken with grief as Hitler was. Many people think that this doctor not being able to save Hitler's mother was the epicenter for his hatred of Jews, but this is untrue. During the purge of German Jews, he let his doctor leave to America to avoid the horrors that he had in store for the rest of the European Jews. Hitler moved back to Vienna to attempt to become an artist, but his paintings didn't sell very well, and he ended up on the street selling postcards. Anti-Semitism was rampant in Vienna, and Hitler started to believe that the reason his paintings were not selling was that Jews owned all of the best works of art. Right-wing newspapers pandered to this belief, and he started to subscribe to the theory that the races of the world were in a constant war with each other. The purest of these races, he believed, was the Aryan German, and the lowest was the Jew. He moved to Munich, where he was homeless for a year, until the First World War broke out. He volunteered for service and was sent to the front lines. Despite a few near-death encounters, he enjoyed the war, saying that it was the greatest of all experiences. During the war, it is believed that a British soldier named Henry Tandy saw a wounded and unarmed Hitler. He aimed the rifle at him but put it down when he realized that Hitler was no threat to him. When Germany ended up losing the war, Hitler was pissed. He thought that there was no way that Germany would surrender that quickly, and it was the Jews and communists that caused Germany's downfall. He started to give speeches and bars for crowds of hundreds. These were the first instances of Hitler giving his speeches that he would be notorious for later on in his political career. He joined the Nazi Party and quickly rose through the ranks to become the leader. He grew the Nazi Party to the voice of the extreme right. And a few years after his ascension to leadership of the Nazi Party, he launched a revolution against the Weimar Republic, but it failed and he was sent to prison. During his time in prison, he wrote a book called Mein Kampf, which translates to My Struggle. Because of how publicized his failed rebellion was, he was known throughout Germany, and when he got out of jail, he grew the Nazi Party into the biggest political party in Germany. He made a deal with the president to make him chancellor to appease his followers, but when the president died, Hitler staged a coup and became the dictator of Germany. I'm not going to go into what he did after he became the dictator of Germany because you all know what happened, and that's not what this video is about. The fact that there were so many times that Hitler could have been stopped but wasn't because everyone was too busy with their own petty squabbles shows how easy it is for someone like Hitler to slip by people. Next time you see someone like Hitler rising to power, take notice and don't make the same mistakes that other people have in the past. Subscribe.